Me and my mom were introduced into the criminal justice field due to my grandpa being a police officer for Lawrence County and learning what it means to be an animal cops to protect and serve and help the animals.
This is a picture of my father when I was little. We lived in Ohio. It was before we moved down here and he became a city cop. At that time, he had been a race car driver. He had built race cars. He worked at a filling station. He ran a filling station. He had a farm. He'd worked at Ohio Steel, which is a manufacturing place at the time. And then when he got fired, or laid off actually, the plant was shutting down. That's when we moved to Kentucky in 1970.
What was it like being the daughter of a cop?
It was fun. I had privileges. Like when there was the September Fest, I got to ride the rides free. Nobody bothered me. They was all afraid to. Yeah, he took me to school. It just seemed funny seeing him in all blue. And the hat was the funniest part, especially when it had plastic on it. All the time they used to come to the house. There was Eugene Schillings, Austin Johnson. Well, Austin was previous chief of police that was retired, and Eugene was just another cop like my dad. They all seemed to like him. He'd go to the go to Super America and get donuts, free, and coffee. Talk about how dumb they were sometimes. Most of them I knew too because they were my age. He didn't have investigations. He wasn't that type of a cop. He worked evening duty most of the time, out looking for drunks and street violators and drugs and stuff like that. And my father was chasing the boys around town all night long. He caught one, the other one got away. He got him in the back of the cruiser. The state trooper was in the cruiser beside him when they pulled up in front of the courthouse, waiting on the jailer to show up so they could put the boy in jail. The state trooper said that my dad lit a cigarette, took one puff, throwed his head back. So the state trooper knew something was wrong. He got out of his cruiser, went over to my dad's, and there was about a 2-inch crack in the window. He managed to get into the window and unlock the door and started to give my dad CPR. And when he gave Daddy CPR, my dad threw it up in his mouth. There was no hope. They said that was my dad's last breath when he done that. The prisoner in the back seat was going ballistic because he didn't know what was going on. So by the time the other cops got there, including Austin Johnson, the senior officer, he thought the prisoner killed my dad. And he was bound determined he was going to get into him and kill the prisoner. And they finally got him calmed down. And they got the prisoner inside, and the ambulance had come and got my dad, and he died officially at about 3 o'clock the next morning. Nothing after they got him calmed down and inside the cell. As far as I know, they didn't catch the second one, so I don't know anything about him. None. They were still, at that point, still thought that they'd done something to my dad, but they hadn't. And a blood aneurysm rose from his leg to his heart and blocked his heart off. It said there wouldn't have been no hope, even if they got him there in time. He'd have been brain dead. There were cops from 3 different states. There were fire departments from all over the state of Kentucky. The cops fought over who were going to carry my dad up to the graveyard. He had a police escort with fire department and everything all the way from Louisa out into the country, which was about 10 miles. There was a lot of remorse and sorrow and anger. I had decided to become a criminal justice major. One, I had wanted to work with animals, and since I couldn't be a biologist or do the zoology thing, criminal justice was the next thing. It gives me the opportunity to work for forestry, or work with the service animals inside the department, or handle any kind of an animal abuse case, and it helps me serve the community in that way. And being a cop, or of any type, will help me work with the animals and stuff and help them. They have nothing to help them, so somebody has to stand up for them.
I never knew my grandpa. He died before I was born, and because of that, I learned over the years from family members and friends that he was a cop for Lawrence County, the place I was born and grew up. And because of it, I visited his grave, found out who he was, how he started the community, how he protected everything. And as I was growing up, I thought about it, going into the criminal justice field, doing the same thing as he did. So because of that, I came here to University of Pikeville to be in the criminal justice field to pursue my dream of being a criminal justice animal cops and do the same thing that he was doing and protect and serve. As I've took the classes, I've learned what it means to actually be in the criminal justice field and be part of the Justice Department. This is the town where my grandpa served and protected. And the community thanked him for his work.
About 3 years after my father's death, Louisa City Police Department called me and said they were going to do a memorial for him and the fallen cops. So they gave us a date. We all went in, sat around the outside of the police department, and they had put up a concrete memorial that had his name and 2 other cops on it and the dates that they died and what they were. When they were done, they handed me the flag as memorial for his service in the city of Louisa.
This is my grandpa's gravesite where we come every year to honor his memory.